It is one of the most daring and devastating Ukrainian attacks on Russian troops since the start of the war.
Ukraine launched a massive drone attack against Russian military air bases, striking thousands of kilometers from the front line.
The attacks are reported to have taken place at several Russian air bases, some many thousands of kilometers from Ukraine.
In the most ambitious attack of the war, Ukrainian drones were smuggled deep into Russian territory before striking cruise missile carriers on the eve of bilateral peace talks.
Two locations are understood to be in Siberia, the Blaya air base in southern Russia and the Olenia air base, which is near in the north.
Ukraine's security services say the drones hit at least 40 aircraft and caused billions of euros worth of damage. The attacks come ahead of Monday's prospective ceasefire talks in Istanbul.
Our military is showing its strength. It is also necessary to show balance, to remain strong fighters, to defend the state.
What would it take to cripple Russia's entire strategic air force in a single day? Ukraine just provided the answer with Operation Spider's Web, a coordinated drone assault that hit 4 critical airfields simultaneously. The scale is staggering. 117 drones, over $2 billion in direct airfield damages, with independent estimates reaching $7 billion when including simultaneous strikes on critical infrastructure. 2 95s, 2 160s, and A-50 radar aircraft. Russia's long-range strike fleet lay in ruins. On the same dawn, Ukrainian drones also crippled critical railway bridges in Bryansk and Kursk and unleashed a fire at an ICBM engine factory near Moscow. This wasn't just an attack. It was a surgical dismantling of Putin's air dominance narrative. But how do you execute such a complex operation across thousands of kilometers of defended airspace?
The strategic architecture under siege.
The targets reveal the strategic architecture that Ukraine sought to dismantle. 4 meticulously chosen airfields serve as the vertebrae of Russia's strategic aviation spine. Blaya Air Base in Irkutsk Oblast operates as a crucial hub for 222 M3 backfire bombers, while Olenia Air Base in Murmansk Oblast serves as the primary deployment station for 295 MS Bear strategic bombers. Moving southeast, Diagalev Air Base in Ryazan Oblast functions as a critical logistics point for Russia's nuclear-capable strike aircraft. Finally, Ivanovo Air Base in Ivanovo Oblast houses a 50 AWACS systems, vital for air defense coordination, and serves as the training ground for Russia's strategic aviation crews. These installations house aircraft that represent the pinnacle of Russian military aviation technology. The Tu-22 M3 backfire bombers carry the Kh-22 missiles, weapons designed to penetrate Western air defenses and deliver conventional or nuclear warheads against strategic targets. The Tu-95 MS Bear bombers form the backbone of Russia's long-range nuclear deterrent, capable of launching cruise missiles from standoff distances. The Tu-160 Blackjack bombers represent Russia's most advanced strategic platform, while the A-50 mainstay aircraft provide irreplaceable early warning and battle management capabilities across vast operational areas. The geographic distribution of targets reveals the unprecedented scope of Ukrainian operational capabilities. From installations in Irkutsk Oblast to facilities in Murmansk near the Norwegian border, these strikes covered approximately 1,200 kilometers of Russian territory. This operational reach extends far beyond previous Ukrainian attacks, demonstrating a strategic depth that threatens Russia's assumption of geographical sanctuary. The simultaneous targeting of installations across multiple military districts forced Russian commanders to confront attacks on their most sensitive assets without the luxury of concentrating defensive resources. Satellite imagery captured columns of smoke rising over hangars as dozens of bombers burned on the ramps. At Blaya, Tu-22 M3 aircraft showed clear signs of structural damage, with one bomber displaying evidence of fire damage to its fuselage and wing sections. The images revealed destroyed maintenance hangars at Olenia, where specialized facilities for strategic bomber operations suffered direct hits. At Diagalev, aircraft appear completely destroyed, their distinctive profiles twisted and burned beyond repair. The most significant losses occurred at Ivanovo, where training aircraft and A-50 platforms sustained damage that will require months or years to repair.
The truth under satellite evidence.
Social media footage from Russian military personnel and civilians near the targeted facilities corroborates the satellite evidence. Videos show massive explosions lighting up the pre-dawn darkness, followed by secondary detonations as aviation fuel and munitions ignited. Russian aviation forums filled with discussions among military personnel acknowledging the unprecedented nature of the attacks, with some posts describing the sound of multiple explosions occurring within minutes of each other across different sections of the same airfield. Military analysts estimate that over 40 strategic aircraft sustained damage ranging from minor to complete destruction. This figure includes approximately 15 Tu-95 MS bombers, 8 Tu-22 M3 aircraft, 3 Tu-160 strategic bombers, and 2 A-50 early warning platforms. The combined replacement cost exceeds the $7 billion estimate when accounting for associated infrastructure damage, specialized maintenance equipment, and the time required to restore operational capabilities. These losses represent far more than immediate tactical setbacks. Each Tu-160 costs approximately $275 million to manufacture, representing years of specialized production at facilities that cannot rapidly replace such sophisticated systems. The tactical brilliance behind coordinating such devastation across multiple time zones and military districts exposes critical vulnerabilities in Russia's defensive assumptions.
The swarm that broke Russian defenses.
The execution required swarm drone technology that exploited fundamental weaknesses in Russian military doctrine. Ukrainian forces deployed 117 unmanned aerial vehicles from civilian trucks and commercial vehicles already positioned throughout Russian territory, circumventing traditional border detection systems that form the backbone of Russian air defense networks. These platforms operated with minimal radar signatures at altitudes below 200 meters, flying beneath the detection threshold of long-range surveillance systems designed to identify incoming missiles and conventional aircraft from international airspace. By launching small drones from within Russia, Ukraine bypassed long-range radar zones focused on external threats, letting wave after wave slip through at low altitude. Russian air defense architecture reveals critical vulnerabilities when confronted with threats originating from within national borders. The S-400 and S-300 missile systems that protect strategic installations focus their radar arrays on external approach corridors, scanning distances of 400 kilometers or more for incoming threats. This configuration creates blind spots in the immediate vicinity of protected assets, where short-range drone deployments can approach undetected. At the same time, Ukrainian drones demolished 2 key railroad bridges in Bryansk and Kursk, severing the main supply arteries to Russia's western front. These strikes targeted specific choke points where single bridges carry the majority of rail traffic for entire military districts, creating logistical bottlenecks that will require weeks to repair. The timing of these infrastructure attacks prevented Russian forces from rapidly redeploying air defense assets to protect the threatened airfields. Russian military bloggers privately admitted their air defenses struggled to detect swarms at close range. Posts on military forums describe the fundamental limitations of systems designed for conventional warfare scenarios, acknowledging that current defensive configurations cannot effectively track multiple small targets operating at low altitudes within national borders. These admissions represent unprecedented public acknowledgement of systemic defensive failures by military personnel who previously maintained confidence in Russian air defense superiority. The psychological impact on Russian aviation personnel extends beyond immediate operational concerns. Pilots stationed at strategic bomber bases now confront the reality that their aircraft remain vulnerable even when parked in supposedly secure facilities hundreds of kilometers from active combat zones. This psychological pressure affects crew readiness and operational tempo, as aviators must consider the possibility of ground attacks against their home bases during mission planning. The uncertainty undermines the confidence that strategic aviation crews require for nuclear deterrent operations. the operation exposes fundamental design flaws in Russia's integrated air defense system, which prioritizes protection against NATO-style air campaigns involving conventional aircraft and cruise missiles. The layered defense concept assumes threats will approach from predictable vectors across international boundaries, allowing radar operators to track incoming targets throughout their flight profiles. Swarm drone technology operating from internal positions negates these assumptions, presenting multiple simultaneous targets that overwhelm tracking systems designed for sequential threat assessment.
The broader implications challenge established asymmetric warfare paradigms across global defense communities. Military strategists worldwide now must reconsider the effectiveness of expensive air defense installations against low-cost drone swarms that can be deployed from commercial vehicles. The Ukrainian model demonstrates that sophisticated radar networks and surface-to-air missile systems provide limited protection against threats that bypass traditional engagement envelopes through tactical innovation rather than technological superiority. This tactical breakthrough proves that advanced air defenses can be circumvented through operational creativity, fundamentally altering the risk calculations that govern military planning in contested regions.
Operation Spider's Web has fundamentally altered the strategic balance between Ukraine and Russia, demonstrating that geographical distance no longer provides sanctuary in modern warfare. Ukraine neutralized roughly 1/3 of Russia's nuclear-capable bomber fleet, severed critical rail links, and struck at the heart of nuclear infrastructure, all in one coordinated operation that shatters the notion of inviolable rear bases in modern conflict.